Welcome to this ATA Insights webinar. Thank you for your ongoing interest and support of our webinar program. Today's session will begin in 2 minutes. ATA Insights Webinars is an online platform for the dissemination of professional renewable energy knowledge across international borders. Our aim is to democratize access to information, for innovation to spread faster, and to make the industry more competitive. And we do this through our online sessions, open to all our members. Every year we do more than 100 sessions with over 250 speakers, 50,000 attendees from more than 50 countries. To participate in the session today, use the chat on the right-hand side to introduce yourself, your company, and where you're joining from. Under the screen you will find the Q&A box, where you can send your questions for the speakers. We will get to as many as we can today. We're recording this session and we will send you a link to the materials in a few days. Please consider supporting our content creation for the webinar program. Contact us on the email on screen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you're joining from today. I know that even though usually we direct these things towards a particular market, there is always people surprising us from everywhere. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all and to invite you to introduce yourselves using the chat on the side, on the right-hand side. And please tell us your name, your company, and also where you're connecting from today. My name is Belén Gallego. I am part of the ATA Insights team, and I'm going to be the moderator today. And we have a very special session. Today is the first of many, I am sure, because we are talking about a very interesting opportunity, which is energy storage in Poland. And as you may know, there has been already a couple of government tenders for the acquisition of energy storage in Poland, and the market has come really, really fast, has moved really fast, and is now kind of changing and mutating, and more is expected from it from the next few years and few tenders. So I welcome you all. I'm sure there are people from everywhere, at the very least in Europe. And with me today, I have two speakers who are going to be telling you the insights on this market, and I'd like to get them introduced so that you can get to know them a little bit better if you don't already. So first, I'm going to invite Donna to please introduce yourself so that people can get to know you a little bit.
Yes, thanks, Belén, for inviting Jinko Power. I'm Donaji Martinez, a New Technologies Director, International Working, and from the business developer side of Jinko Power.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Donna. And Jan, please, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Hello, everybody. My name is Jan Kłoczko. I'm the Commercial Deputy Director for Greenvolt Power, with some practical experience in participating in the capacity market auctions in Poland with energy storage projects.
I'd say a lot, since you guys have participated and won so much already. But okay, so these are the two panelists that we have for today, and how it's going to work is very simple. What we're going to have is a presentation. First is Donna's going to speak, then Jan, then Donna again to close off, and then we'll have some time for Q&As that you're going to send. Okay, it's very, very important that you take this opportunity to send your questions so that we can ask them. To send the questions, please use the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, or if you're in YouTube, that I see there are a few people joining from YouTube, just put them in the chat and we will make sure to take the questions inside the room. We're recording this session, okay, so both the materials and the recordings will be available for you, so you don't have to worry about that, because you will have access to it for you and for your colleagues. And I think with this is enough. Maria, if you could take out the slide now. Okay, perfect. I'd like to just ask Donna to please share your presentation and begin. And so you know, Donna and Jan are actually Intersolar today, so perhaps many of you are as well. I am not in this occasion, but this is a very international session for sure. Just looking at where you guys are joining from. There's a lot of people from Poland, from Germany, from Spain. and so on and so forth. So I'm delighted really to see all of this information flowing, and sort of allowing hopefully more people to participate in these markets. Can you open, please, that into a large scale presentation? Because at the moment,
I tried. I don't know if we'll do that. Yes, let
I'll
me
explain. Look,
try it.
yeah. Otherwise, next to the Zoom, there is like a little icon, and if you press in that, it goes into the large presentation. The icon right next to the minus in the Zoom. Can you see? There is like a little screen.
Okay. No,
Down. The Zoom is down.
Here? No.
Down, 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 down. Do you see the Zoom? There is a minus and a plus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
next there is like a little TV. I don't know. If you press on that icon, it should become a large presentation. Sorry about these guys. We are live, and
sorry.
sometimes these things happen. The computer doesn't show what you want them to show. It just happens. Are you able to?
No, I don't think that will work.
It's not working. Okay,
No.
I mean, we can see it enough. So if you can just go through this, and then.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would like to start just saying that I will introduce the Polish energy market and then the capacity market. Then I will let Jan to go deeper to the auctions, and then I come back with the conclusion. So I don't know why it's not working, but hopefully you can see the slides. And well, the Polish energy market is quite interesting because although it's still heavily reliant on coal power plants, we are just seeing that in the last year, in 2023, they reached almost 25% of the all total generation coming from the wind and the PV energy sources. So this is basically not just in the PV rooftop and also utility. They then reach like 16.5 gigawatts. Then also in wind, they almost reached the 6 gigawatts. This is because they in 2005 they apply new regulation. They adopt this Renewable Energy Act, and then go after the green certificates, and then after in 2015 and applying in 2017 the capacity market mechanisms. So the situation in the energy storage in Poland is also interesting because this intermittency of the growing renewable energy becoming from the regulation justifies the need of the balancing supply and the demand use invest. So the recent curtailments due to the increase of the renewable energy shows also negative electricity prices in the warm seasons, and also they have demands of periods of low generation. So that confirms the need for the energy storage in Poland, and also the TSO has emphasized the necessity of the balancing power generating capacity. So in 2022, we just testified the first 4 projects that won the 17-year capacity. That means 150 megawatts. This is all those projects will be entered into operation in 2027. And plus in last year we saw 1.7 gigawatts of project award in the auction, and that's going to be in operation in 2028. So all these investments are supported by the balancing the revenue stacking. So overall, because they need to make sense to make some project and to have a attractive investment return. So based on overall in the wholesale market, the arbitrage, and also the balancing market, it's already in operation. We just saw 1 week of that operation in Poland. It's amazing because the prices are getting really high and attractive. So the projects can participate in the primary, in the secondary, even tertiary, and with the replacement reserve units. So additionally to this capacity market auction, so we can have a good business model. So, but in the future, we foresee that energy storage standalone can participate also with PPA. Okay. So regarding the police capacity auction, is basically designed to compensate all generators for the missing money. So all those can be 2 main of this capacity of 1 year and 70-year contract. So it's basically projects that with 4 hours and technically the rating, sorry, the rating has been established like for last year 95%. So the capacity is Dutch type, pay as clear. And additionally, you have many rounds, and then you go to all the rounds. At least you submit an exit bid. You are going to go exit. But if you don't, you are still participating in until the end round. So the market clearing price is in welfare optimization, evidently. So the project that are awarded has a contract with the TSO, the Polish TSO, is PSC. So you have a payment in zlotys, in a zlotys coin. So, but the good thing is that it's a monthly index to the according with the Polish Consumer Price Index. So I think I will leave Jan now to explain a bit more. Please, Jan.
Jan, please tell me that you're there. Yeah, here we go.
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
I don't see you. I'm like, he disappeared.
No, don't worry.
Donna, in the meanwhile, if you take off your presentation and open it up again, hopefully that will work afterwards.
Okay. Do I start my presentation now?
Yes, please.
Okay, good.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
I was
No
waiting
worries.
for that. You're...
Yes, I'm just doing it right now.
Perfect. Let's see. Hopefully you can put that in a... Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
There you go. So,
all right, go, take your time. Yep.
Okay, so as Greenvolt Power, we have participated with our battery storage projects in a recent auction, the auction which is called Auction 2028, even though it took place in 2023, because the auctions, the so-called main auctions, take place 5 years before the beginning of the capacity obligation. So I just wanted to share with you some more in-depth information how the capacity auctions work and how to prepare yourself, what to expect if you want to join the capacity auction with your projects. So first of all, the capacity auctions are, well, not everybody understands what is a Dutch auction, but it's a sort of an auction in which you do not bid for the highest price, but you follow the descending price, and once you reach your pain threshold, the level at which you decide you do not want to participate in the auction anymore because the price is too low for you, you opt out. And this is, I would say, the key thing that you have to remember when you prepare for the auction. So I would say the other important thing is that if you have a new unit, you're one of the price makers, whereas if you have an existing unit, you can only be a price taker, which means that you can opt out only after passing certain threshold of the price, which is much lower than the reference price. The possible tenors are between 1 and 17 years. Altogether, the existing units have the least possibility to select their tenor because they are in a way limited to 1 year contracts. If you have a modernized unit, it's up to 5 years if you are a new unit, it's up to 15 years, plus you get 2 years of the so-called green bonus if your emission factor is low enough. In case of batteries, this is a very comfortable situation because regardless of whether it's a standalone or co-located battery, this is always the emission factor is always set at 0. However, if you want to participate with a co-located, there's a consideration that you have to take into account, which is about the rating factor, about which we will talk in a while. So the last year, the auction was on the 14th of December. Auction always takes place in December. However, you have to take into account that you have to start preparing at least a year before, because in order to participate in the auction, you have to register in the general certification, which takes place in January prior to the main auction in December. The reference price was 452 zlotys, and the price taker threshold 183. This is the threshold at which the existing units could start to pull out, so to speak. And as usual, we had 12 rounds, 30 minutes each. So what you generally do in the auction, you just follow the descending price round after round. And once you decide you want to opt out, hopefully you won't, then you leave the auction. If the auction finishes before you opted out, then you're one of the winners. Okay, so what is the process timeline for the auction? First of all, as I said, a very important moment is January. That's one of the, I would say, 3 key moments throughout this timeline. This is general certification. This one is quite easy. You need to have some sort of a promise of a connection plus some technical info parameters and a generation plan for the next 5 years. However, the generation plan, I would say it's only an indication. This is not something that you have to have calculated in your huge Excel models. You just need a good practice is to prepare beforehand, because sometimes this, especially in case of batteries, the reference I would say the reference documents are not always there, because the PEC publishes, I would say, reference documents for different technologies, and sometimes before you get your head around where all the documents are, it's better to have them prepared before the window opens, because once the window closes, this is usually the 3rd week of January, then your chance is gone. Then the TSO verifies the applications. It's very prudent to spend, as I said, quite a lot of time to prepare your application well, because the TSO gives you only one chance to improve on the errors that you've made to your application. Then you have a long time waiting until September, where the auction certification takes place. However, this time should be spent on the preparation of the documentation, because the application the certification to auction is a serious business, so you need a lot of external documents. You need to get an external report, which has to be prepared from a third-party consultant. So in a way, this is I would say starting the preparations in June will already leave you short on time in terms of preparing everything peacefully. You can still do it, but generally it's a good practice again to start preparing early, because again in November you have only 2-week window in September to submit all the documentation. The chance to make a mistake is much higher because of the sheer number of documents and details that you have to fill in. And at the end of the day, you have only one chance to improve on your application from the TSO. Then, after the auction certification is confirmed, in December, you have the last moment to place the security. The security so far has been 43 Polish zlotys per kilowatt. And in the middle of December, the capacity auction takes place. So depending on the technology you have, generally I would say the fact of life is that you cannot submit to the auction your full capacity. So you have your nominal capacity, and then you need to apply a derating factor depending on what sort of technology you are submitting to the auction. So if you wanted to go with the capacity auction, that's fine. But then if you had a, let's say, 100 megawatt solar installation, then you could have submitted to the last capacity. One thing of note, and this is a very important thing, if you want to participate in the auctions in Poland, starting from this year. Hopefully, you already submitted the documents. If not, you will be participating only in 2030. A very important thing is that the current proposed draft regulation decreased considerably the derating factor for battery storage. So this is not set in stone yet. There are talks already carried out by the battery storage community with the TSO, but unfortunately, starting from this auction, it seems that probably you will be able to submit only 57% of your capacity, of your nominal capacity of your batteries to the capacity auction. So when the capacity auction takes place, first of all, there's a pre-qualification round for foreign units, because foreign units are allowed to participate also in the capacity auction with a much smaller amount of volume, which is set aside by the regulator. This last year it was about 1 gigawatt of capacity. This year is going to be about 1.5 of potential capacity from abroad. Generally, as I said, taking no action will result in concluding the contract. The contract is concluded automatically. You cannot negotiate it. You just can download the text from the TSO's website. When you want to drop out within a round that you selected, you just put in any price that is within the range, and then you drop out, which I hope will not be your case, obviously. And then you know preliminary results after 3 days, and final results are known after about 3 weeks. So in terms of competition, when you look where you are on the line, battery storage up to last year was, I would say, especially 4-hour battery storage, because the 2-hour battery storage has its problems because of the obligation to provide continuous power through continuous capacity for 4 hours. But we went into the auction with 4-hour batteries, and being worse than DSR, existing gas, hydro, coal firing, but being better than new gas, secured a full victory for our portfolio. So what were the results? The clearing price was much lower than the previous year, and the marginal technology was battery storage for the first time ever. The total capacity awarded 7 gigawatts. As I said, foreign units about 1 gigawatt. You can see that the technology portfolio was quite varied in terms of wins. And the important thing is that we sort of, the capacity auction shifted from being dominated by the state-owned big units, especially gas units, to a more decentralized and also oversubscribed auction, which means that sort of batteries have won the day. In a way, we moved to a more democratic sort of auction. We also, and another thing which is also very, very telling is that no new generating units cleared the auction, and that's why the TSO decided to change the rating factor for the battery storage. They are just so concerned that gas units will not be able to compete at all with the battery storage. So what can we expect? What can we expect from the next auction? Well, first of all, I believe that we will have tougher competition. If you looked at how many people wanted to take part in the auction last year with their battery storage, we expected there to be about 23 gigawatts of projects. At the end of the day, there were less than 6 gigawatts of projects, which probably because a lot of people didn't manage to complete the documentation and submit the financial security. But the projects are being developed as we speak. So I believe the competition will be tougher. However, due to the lower derating factor at 57%, what I expect is that the price will be higher at the end of the day. I mean, the business case will be exactly the same because you will be able to submit only 57% of your nominated capacity. However, the prices are expected, the TSO expects prices around 400 Polish zlotys, which means that batteries will start to compete with gas. In other words, it will be a tougher auction, but still, I think battery stands a fair chance of winning good support, especially if you do your homework and make sure that you squeeze your capex down as much as possible. And just as a last word, please remember that the next year's auction, not this year's, but next year's auction, is the last auction of the system. So if you want to take advantage of the capacity market, which I believe is a great base for revenue for the battery storage, make sure to be prepared in January for the general certification. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan. Very good to see the timeline, and thank you for also all of the advice that you've given in terms of taking it seriously, preparing early. I think it's very, very important. I think last minute it won't work really. Donna, I think you're back now for the final stretch of the presentation, and Maria is sharing it for you. Please, people in the audience, keep sending your questions. We have 3 already, but we've got more time than for 3 questions, so please go ahead and keep sending them. We'll have a conversation after the last presentation. So go right ahead, Donna.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, no, just to complement the Jan speech, we foresee for the this year auctions competitivity of the power, the storage units, also the gas. It's quite important to see if this rating factor that the TSO is suggesting in a draft will be drawn from 67% in comparison with the 95% of the last year. That represents a decrease on the payments. So that could be also a high motivation for many of the projects. But anyway, we storage, as we have seen in we need the revenue stacking, so we need the capacity payments, not only for the financial projects, also to complement the IRR. So well, let's see, that will be competitive, but it is all the units that want to participate this year still on the going. We foresee that probably the round will close in a later stage than the last year. Last year was the 6th. So this year, if the cap price is still if the 452 or over that price, we will see that the half of this closing price, and well, we will see the competitivity of this year. So we also foresee that well, it's well known that if there are a lot of projects in the market, this will be entered to operation in 2029. So the balancing market will be also, I will say, some kind of have some cannibalization. So it will be important to take into consideration that this balancing market has a medium size. So probably with the Greenvolt projects enter into operation in 2028 and all these auction results, we will have not so much opportunity in the big prices like today in the balancing market. So just to finalize, Maria, please, next slide. Just in a summary, yes, Poland is facing a renewable energy transition. So this increase of the PV and wind are demonstrating that TSO needs the capacity for the flexibility of the system and the renewable integration. So these capacity auctions, yes, was planned to 10 years long. So we are just in 2025 reaching the last stage. We never know. Probably the state decides to prolong and then extend the capacity mechanisms. We don't know. We will know next year probably. Well, but about all these legal changes that the Poland is applying with all the reforms in the Renewable Act and the balancing markets are supporting the business model of the energy storage. So it's an attractive market. So we foresee an energy storage cannibalization, 3 years, 5 years, depending on the balancing market. We will see in 3 years probably, and in the wholesale market, the arbitrage probably in 5-10 years. So yeah, the perspective of Poland looks promising for the integration of the storage and evidently for the renewable energy. So that's all for my part. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Donna, and thank you very much, Jan, of course, for your presentations. Okay, so we have 3 questions open, but before that, I'd like to actually ask you guys directly a question that is a little bit more wider about the European markets. I know you both work in different European markets and you analyze them, to see pros and cons in each of them. So I wish, like, my question here is to understand how adequate, how good are you seeing the way that the market is being organized and the tenders in Poland compared to other markets? How important is this opportunity versus others, or how, would you pick and plug things from other markets? I don't know who wants to start, but just to understand the opportunities that are currently in Europe. Jan, go ahead.
Okay, let me start then. So comparing to other opportunities in Poland, I think, well, there are 2 answers to your question, depending on whose perspective we take. If you take the perspective of the architect of this system, which is the Polish TSO, this system is not really great. It does not fulfill the requirements of the TSO for long-term security, which the TSO unfortunately already spotted, which means that what I expect is that they will not be trying to prolong the system, they will be trying to change it. On the other hand, from the point of view of developers, in my view, this system is very good, it's very robust. From the point of view of bankability, it's absolutely great. It's great because the rules are very clear, your obligations are very clear, your revenues you can calculate your revenues with a 99% probability, at least in the capacity market part, from year 1 to year 17, which means, that's a great boost to the credibility of your project. So in a way, I would say it's a bit too good to last, just because the TSO, what they found out is that it costs the taxpayer quite a lot of money, but at the same time it does not fulfill all the requirements of the TSO, and at the end of the day the TSO probably will try to implement something less favorable for the developers.
So what requirements are currently not being fulfilled, and are they being fulfilled in other systems that you've seen across Europe, for example?
What you can see, generally, apart from the UK and in Ireland, in Europe, everybody's learning. Yes, so we're all talking about theories. Yes, I like the Italian system, but only on paper, because I don't have a single project in Italy that has been running for even 1 minute. However, when you look at the UK, what it seems is that with the capacity market, you would like to have some technologies, or at least possibility to have security 24/7. With batteries, it occurred now. Only lately the TSO realized that if you have a battery system, once you discharge it, you have to recharge it, which means it takes exactly the same amount of time to recharge it, which means that if you have a 4-hour battery and you have a 4-hour threat situation in the system, you're fine. But if you have 6-hour threat situation in the system, then after 4 hours, the battery has to stop discharging, and they cannot recharge because the system is threatened. Yes. So in a way, there are certain limitations which the TSO is starting to realize right now, and I believe that this is something that they would like to address.
Thank you very much. Also for the honesty, because it's true. I mean, from the point of view of the developer, what you want is a clear market that is easy, makes it all very bankable, but the reality does not necessarily what that's important for the system, but
Yes.
might not be the first priority. Donna, about this question, I know you work in Spain and Italy, here, that. So what is your opinion?
No, I think the Polish market is one of the first market. It's positioning along with the UK market, so it's quite good for the investment. I will say also just answering another question, just the balancing market mechanism just entered last week, 14 June. So we are seeing how it's moving well, is getting good prices, supporting the all the business model. So yes, TSO is still struggling with the technical perspective of the system, but I will say responding is really active working, inviting all the association to submit the question answers. And so it's moving really good. So there is some things that the TSO need to see if gas also is important, renewables is important, how to manage that. So I'm really happy with the market, even though it will be better. So it's matter of experience, I think. So we can take this experience. In fact, we are taking like company investor of developer, and then we are going to other markets like Spain, Italy, in which the capacity market is not yet working, even though in Latin or in other geographies like Australia, with the balancing mechanisms, and then we are seeing a good behavior of the storage. Let's see when the Greenvolt enter in operation, the 1.2 gigawatts, and then we will see.
We'll invite them back to speak about how is it going. Because I mean, this is the proof of the pudding, right? At the moment, we're talking about tenders, but then we have to build and we have to reliably
build and
give
operate.
the,
Yes.
We also
going to power plants. Sorry, Donna?
We also want a 44 megawatts hour, small 2 projects, but we are entering also in operation in 2028, and then we have a portfolio of 400. So let's see, we are gonna go into this auction depending on the final rating. We need to put these numbers in the business model, and as long as we have makes sense the investment return, we will see. Yeah.
All right, guys. You were saying the rating a lot, and I know it's key. Everybody's saying, what's the magic number? 95% was great.
Well, yeah, it
we
was
don't
fantastic.
like it so much. 67, we're thinking, does it work? Does it not? And I think it's pretty confusing. I think this is, the problem with the battery markets is that they're exceedingly complex to understand, and it boggles the mind quite literally. And then when like a system architect, like you said, Jan, comes and says, okay, I'm clarifying this for you, I need this much, I'm paying this much, and then kind of simplifies and takes away all of that complexity. Of course, the signals kind of get switched on for investment, but it's hard to get your head around what is the rating and how it works and why is it applied. And one of the questions here is like, what is the reason behind decreasing the rating factors of battery storage? And I think that even though you mentioned it so much, I think it's important that we discuss this.
If you look at the results of the last auction, you can see that there was no new generating unit, which could clear the threshold. Which means that the only new generating units in Poland right now are big gas units. And actually, for many years, the auction was there to support the new gas-fired CCGT projects. So in a way, the batteries have taken away their toys. Yes, and And the operator, on the one hand, I must admit that the operator is quite enthusiastic about the batteries, and we have a very good conversations right now. We have very good conversations with the head of the TSO as starting this year. And so I must say that it's really going somewhere. On the other hand, the operator wants to have generating units in the system full stop. So what they did, they just, I mean, they were very open about it. They just said, we need you guys to compete with the gas. We need some gas projects in the capacity market. So we're decreasing your derating factor so that your break-even price is about 400, because that's the break-even price for gas. So this is not a secret. It's been said in an open meeting with the community, with the battery storage community. The only problem I can see is that this is again done at the last moment, when the game is already on, when people have prepared their projects. So I mean, I do try to understand the perspective of the TSO, because they're responsible for the system. On the other hand, I would appreciate if because it's a dramatic change. So I would appreciate if such dramatic changes were announced not like 3 months before everybody have to submit their documents to the auction.
And is it expected that it keeps the rating over time, or will it reach a point in which it won't derate anymore?
The derating is regulated by the regulation of the minister, which means that next year they can change this factor. However, once you have won the auction at a certain derating factor, yes, you are stuck with this factor, which means that those projects that cleared the auction in the year 2023 and 2022, their obligation will stay at 95% of the derating factor.
Yeah, I mean, once you sign, it's signed. But for the next round, the rating will slowly come down, or will reach a point in which it won't come down anymore?
Well, I think if the TSO did their calculations right, and the price will be around 400 zlotys in this auction, they will not meddle with the derating factor anymore, because the goal is generally to make new gas projects at competition level with batteries. That's the only goal. So at the end of the day, if they hit the right spot and the price this year will be around 400, everybody will forget about it. Yes. If the price is, I don't know, 350, we will see another decrease of the derating factor.
So, Jan, excuse the ignorance, but like, what are the gas prices like in Poland? Because I mean, you no longer get Russian gas, right? But where does it go? So I have no idea. I was just wondering, because maybe.
Well, I mean, with the Russian gas, it's a very political discussion. So let's make another webinar. Let's make another webinar for the insiders.
We'll talk about that.
Yes, and we'll talk about
if it's
the true face of the gas industry in Europe. Okay.
So if it's expensive, then maybe it's not such a big threat. If it's really cheap, it depends really how it's going.
At the moment, the gas price is rather. I think it's mostly about the capex, because the gas is rather cheap. Because I mean, we have the same price like everybody in Europe. We have the gas market is open, which means it's traded. So So there are certain threats to the stability of the prices, but in general, right now the prices are like they're near the bottom. Yes, they're very low.
Yeah. Okay. So
I would like to add that it's interesting to see that the competitive prices of the energy storage against the gas. So you can see with the rating factor, the TSO are pushing last year the battery, and this year they want to push the gas against the battery. So it's a complement, no? It's a fight, but it's interesting to reach that kind of prices. And last year they published in August the rating percentage and other details, the price cap and everything, and they update, I think, in November. So we expect the new publication in August, September. We will know if they left this 57% that was in the draft, or they modify to other.
Yes.
And so it's what they want to support this year.
Yes, so this is, as you said, Donna, rightly, this is not set in stone yet. This is just a draft regulation. So everything is in the hands of the battery storage associations, and to what extent they can convince the regulator to or rather the lawmaker to keep the derating factor at a high level.
I'm just laughing because there is so much going on in there, right? You can unpack it so much. You're like, they say 57 because then if they say 67, everyone's going to be like, great. And actually it's like they drop you. So God knows what's going on, but we'll keep an eye because it's interesting. And Donna, that point is a really good point that you've made. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we've been going out at this for how long in renewables, and all we've ever wanted is to be competitive with gas. And here we are, like we are like fighting it out, like we're coming for you now. All right. So the question here is like, what is the potential for long duration energy storage in Poland? I think this is a very interesting conversation.
It is.
Go on, you start. Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's a lot of potential because what we see is actually, I mean, this is exactly what TSO says. We cannot allow batteries to take over the whole capacity market, because if we are threatened through more than 4 hours of the day with lack of capacity, who will come to our aid? So here enters the long-term energy storage. So at the end of the day, I think that everybody will be more than happy to have it in Poland. It's just the matter of the cost. Yes, just the matter of the cost. But generally, I think that as far as I can read what I heard from the head of the Polish transmission system operator, they are waiting. They're waiting for them. It would be like a miracle. Yeah, so they're really, really desperate to get any sort of security in our capacity, because what we can see over the last 2 years in Poland, that the stability of the system is going down dramatically, and this is generally a great case for batteries, but for long-term duration energy storage in terms of energy security, it's an obvious case.
Yeah, but it's also an obvious case to like keeping what you already got, right? Your fossil fuels all like close to your chest. I think this is the
but Belen, but the problem is rather not with the fuels. The problem is that we cannot keep our fossil fuels anymore. I mean, everybody thinks that it's not about that the country doesn't want to let go of its coal. The coal will let go of itself. Our installations are so old and so obsolete that just maintaining them is a nightmare. So in 5 years' time, most of them will be unusable, and the TSO knows that very well, and that's why they know that they cannot wait for the new nuclear power plants, which are we've been building them for 40 years, and they're still not a single one is built.
40 years away, no.
Again 40 years away, or for a new big gas plants, which are 7 to 10 years away. The problems we have are the problems that we have now, and we will have them within the 1 to 5 years horizon. So even the batteries that cleared the auction right now, in my view, or in the view of the operator, are a bit too late. Yes, because the problems are taking place now.
Okay, continue with the questions. This is for Donna. Obviously, you can add, Jan. What is the approximate range expected project IRR for battery energy storage system projects coming online in 2025 and onwards?
Well, it's an interesting question, Jan. What my point of view? Well, we need the company. We need to get the holder rate for our investors. So yeah, well, probably the storage in any country that you are developing, you need to get more than 7-8% of the investment return. So Poland and all the business model with the numbers of the balancing, the arbitrage, and with the capacity, just taking the average price last year, we are around 9-10% optimizing the capex. Evidently, if you got 100 gigawatt, then you can better optimize the capex and then get more than that. But it's an average of that.
You want to add? This is the moment, Jan. Otherwise, we continue.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that Donna is absolutely right. It's all about optimizing the capex, and that's all I will say.
Okay. Keeping cards close to the chest. Okay. Can battery energy storage systems operate in wholesale market in addition to capacity provision? Yes, they can.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's the thing is, in order to make, you cannot make at least we were not able to make a project profitable on the capacity market only. I mean, it will not cover your expected huge IRR that Donaji was mentioning. So, and generally, what you do with the battery storage, you do revenue stacking. So right now in Poland, I would say the base which gives you the bankability is the capacity market, but this is for the bankability plus for this certain peace of mind. Whereas I would say, but this is not even 50% of your revenue. So you need to put on top of this arbitrage, which is fully doable with the capacity market as it is designed in Poland. And also you put on top of this ancillary services, which have been released to general markets, I think a week ago in Poland. So this is a new reality for us, but the battery storage, generally you need to combine three streams of revenue to arrive at satisfactory figures.
Okay, so hopefully, if you do a really good job, you can even make perhaps more. Like that is the base guarantee.
Yeah. So as I said, it's you can choose different business models. You can go into, I don't know, try tolling agreements or so to minimize your risk, but you can maximize your risk and maximize your profit. So I would say battery gives you much more complexity, but much more flexibility in how you make money.
Don, I don't know. You good at this point? Do you want to add something? No, we cannot hear you. You have to switch on your mic. Yeah.
No, totally agree with the Jan. It's you need to play with the numbers, and there is also many variables on the way. From we are developers, so if you want to maximize your profit, come with us. We are really squeezing the numbers, but no, starting from capex, then the capacity duration is 15 plus two premium years. You can even start before the commercial operation with the TSO, and then you can get the better prices of the balancing market. But also you can go the 15 years contract plus 2, and then has 17 years, but then the duration of the battery is 20 years almost, if you would manage the battery. So you can still complement that. So, but yeah. Well, what happened after 2025, we will see. I just mentioned that there is incoming PPAs just closing in UK last month. Some of the companies are closing just standalone storage. So PPA is a open door. There is no any example yet in Europe, just in UK. But in Chile, the Atlas closed 15 years contract. So we will see.
One more question, and then I'm going to ask you about long duration again, because there's been so many questions about that. Okay. In terms of proof the possibility, this is, I think
it's a technical question.
Said.
I know it refers to the answer I gave a moment ago in writing.
Yeah.
So in general, just to give everybody a broader perspective, the obligation you have once you win the contract is you have like three basic obligations. One is to prove that you can run at the capacity that you submitted to the auction. The other one is you have to perform a test emergency period with the TSO when he calls you to do that. And third of all, you have to perform during the real emergency periods when you are called by the operator. When the question is about the first one, because it might sound a bit obscure, how do you prove it? It's pretty simple. You generally have to select 1 hour from your generation over the quarter, get the documents from SCADA and send them to the operators, showing them, look, I've produced with that much capacity, and that's it. And you can select any hour from the quarter that you wish. So this is the simplest part.
Okay, thank you very much for explaining that. And yes, you had answered actually a bunch of questions earlier. Thank you very much, guys, both of you, for answering. And LDS, there's a lot of questions about LDS, whether 8 hour, it's a go in Poland, whether flow batteries are an issue.
The flow battery?
Different things.
Okay, so Donna, do you want to answer this? Or
Yeah, I would like to add that there
Yeah.
is a lot of working on the association. We are also part, but the TSO and the government is looking to replace all that coal. So they are starting with the capacity from storage, energy storage, also renewables. But they have in mind, I don't know if you have seen the news, they are published that their intentions to add nuclear energy. So, but we all know that nuclear has 10 years of development and is really expensive. So, well, it's development, construction, and everything. We will have some space to add this long-term duration, because with the battery, just 4 hours is quite good for the capex. 6 hours we are struggling with the capex of the battery, and evidently 8 hours is quite outside of the range of the working, even technically, for the current battery. Even the price drop, I think that there is so much space for the leaders. So yes.
Yeah, so addressing the question about the flow batteries, there is absolutely space. This is always the problem of capex, as Donna have mentioned. But there is a space. We actually considered flow batteries for our projects. However, there was not enough capacity, like production capacity, because if you have 1.4 gigawatts of storage to be delivered within the years 26, 27, I think the global capacity of production of flow batteries is not enough. The flow batteries have certain real advantages, which we appreciated, like, for example, lack of degradation. So if you have 17 years of obligation, this is a very important issue to be considered, and it also impacts the level of your capex, because you do not have to repower your installation. However, the biggest producer that we were talking to was able to give us less than 5% of what we needed. So in terms of capacity and the time. So with smaller projects like 100 megawatts or smaller, I think it's an absolutely viable option. But everybody would have to calculate it for themselves.
Okay, so thank you very much. And we really have a couple of minutes only. Rito has asked, how much time ahead are emergencies announced? I think this is a very technical question as well, right?
But very simple answer, 8.
8.
Yeah.
What? Minutes?
8 hours.
Seconds?
8 hours.
8
8 hours. Yes. But
that doesn't sound like an emergency very much, to be honest, to a casual observer.
Well, it is when it's announced on on Sunday evening, and you have to start the emergency period Monday morning. So once you get into the capacity market, you have to have people manning the communication with the TSO every day.
Okay, so thank you very much, Jan. Thank you very much, Donna. It's been excellent talking to you and learning a little bit more about the Polish market. I think there's been a lot of questions and also interest from everyone. We had people even from Japan. So this is where when I say good evening, it's not for nothing. So welcome everyone, and I hope that you learned a lot. As I said, we'll send the recordings and the materials, and we'll be really much looking at this rating factor. I think we need to figure out what it ends up being, and maybe have a discussion in a few months once this is settled, and looking into the new tender. Thank you again. Thank you everyone, and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.